Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video where today I'm sure you know by the title we will be looking at and looking over the game week 6 matches, and we will go on to predicting them as well. So we have Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest, the first game this week. So let's start with Manchester City. We all know this team is incredible. The way they play football is amazing. They're unbeaten in the Premier League so far, and Rodri is such a key player in the team. He could do basically everything: shoot, defend, pass. He's physical with the ball in the league. So good. On to Nottingham Forest. A decent side. To be fair, they haven't been they've been not bad, I would say, but they currently sit in 8th place, which is not bad for them. And Gibbs White is a very good player. Very, I'm not I'm surprised no big clubs are going after him. So I believe he is a special talent. But for this matchup, I do see Manchester City winning 3-0. And we move on to Crystal Palace versus Fulham. Honestly, a kind of even type game, I would say. So let's start with Crystal Palace, a underrated team, I believe, and Eze, I believe, is now the star for them as well. They brought in Lerma as the CDM, as Milivojevic, I believe his name is. He is not as good anymore, and the team plays some decent football at times. On to Fulham, also a not bad team this season. They are kind of struggling a bit more as they lost Mitrovic to the Saudi League, and Jimenez is not really doing too well in that striker position, and it'll be interesting how they play in this matchup. But overall, my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Crystal Palace. Now we move on to Luton Town versus Wolves. This could be a very surprising match. So let's start with Luton Town. Luton Town were promoted into the Premier League. They have actually no wins in the league so far, and that is super tough. And they're massively struggling in this league. On to Wolves, they are kind of struggling as well. They have only won one game this season, and I rate Pedro Neto. He's really good. Usually what he does is he dribbles around the edge of the box and then he just whips it in with his left foot, but it doesn't really land on anyone's head. So Wolves need to step it up, in my opinion. Wolves fans will hope they can win this game for sure, and my prediction is gonna be a 2-0 win for Wolves. Now we have Brentford versus Everton. This should be a fairly decent match. So let's start with Brentford. They are a fairly underrated team. Unfortunately, they are missing Tony. He has been banned from football for a while, and Mbuemo has turned up though. He is a class player. He creates stuff. He scores goals. Just fantastic player overall. On to Everton. They aren't the best without a win at the moment in the Premier League. That is tough as well, and Beto has been a decent signing for them. I believe he came from Italy. And this team could possibly get relegated at the end of the season, and my prediction is going to be a 2-0 win for Brentford. Now we move on to Burnley versus Manchester United. Should be an easy game for Manchester United. So let's start with Burnley. They've kind of struggled as well, honestly. not been the best start back in the Premier League. I don't think they have the personnel, especially for how Company wants to play onto Manchester United. They have been struggling as well. You have the Sancho situation, which is rough. He might be leaving the club as well. And Man United sit in 13th place right now, and it's a tough period for the club right now. And my prediction is gonna be a 3-1 win though for Manchester United. Now we have Chelsea versus Aston Villa. This should be a exciting game as well. So let's start with Chelsea. They've had a rough start to the season. It looks like their build-up is getting better though, and they're just struggling to score still, which is a big problem for them. And Jackson hasn't exactly hit the ground running in the league, and it might take a bit more time for Chelsea to kind of gel together and play well and get those goals in. I do see what Poch is doing though. He's doing a fairly good job, I would say, but we'll see what will happen in the next few games. On to Aston Villa. They've been in a good position last season. They got into the into Europe and playing some nice football as well. Signed some very good players like Pau Torres, Diaby. Unai Emery has done a fantastic job with the club, but my prediction is gonna be a 2-1 win for Aston Villa. Now we move on to Arsenal versus Tottenham. Very big game for both sides. The North London derby, and this is gonna be a huge one. So let's start with Arsenal. They have been doing well in the Premier League, currently unbeaten in the Prem, and Rice has found his place in the starting 11, which is great to see, and he's been playing some good football. Arsenal has been playing some good football as well, and Odegaard and Saka have been fantastic. Those two are the stars so far of Arsenal. And on to Tottenham. The opponents, they have been good as well, I can't lie. Angie has made a big impact on the team. Madison fits straight into that team. Kane has gone to Bayern as well. So they are actually unbeaten as well, which is crazy. 2 unbeaten teams in the North London derby going at it. It's gonna be a very intense game. I can feel it. And my prediction is gonna be a 2-2 draw. Now we have Liverpool versus West Ham. This is another good game. Looking forward to this one as well. So let's start with Liverpool. They've been better this season than last season. Currently sit unbeaten in the Prem as well, and they have 4 wins and a draw. The midfield seems to be doing well, and Trent seems to be enjoying his new role, kind of like inverting into that midfield. He's really good at like inverting into the midfield and making passes from there. On to West Ham. They've surprised me so far. Been playing well, honestly, and at the moment they're in 6th place. Not too bad. And Paqueta has been the key to this team. Bowen is also such a great player. He scores like almost every game. He's just very, very good. And my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Liverpool. Now we have Brighton versus Bournemouth. This should be a breeze for Brighton. So let's start off with Brighton, a team that has been so good. The Zerbi has done a insanely good job with this team. Matoma has been balling. Also Marsh, the way they play football is just very entertaining to watch. They did beat Manchester United a few weeks ago as well. So on to Bournemouth. Not too good of a start for them. They started the season without a single win. so they don't have a win at all at the moment. Although a player who stood out for me was Clivert in the last game. He looked really good taking on players. So they do have a player there who could make the difference. The new manager isn't doing too well at the moment. They're kind of struggling at the moment. But my prediction is going to be a 3-0 win for Brighton. And the last game we have is Sheffield United versus Newcastle. This should be a interesting game, so let's start with Sheffield. They have had a awful start, have not recorded a single win this season, and a newly promoted side, as we all know, and they could struggle in the Prem. They sit just above the relegation zone. And on to Newcastle. They have not started well as well, and they have quality all over the pitch, and Tonali is a player that I do rate. He's been looking really good recently, and a great signing for the club. Although Barnes has not got the game time I'm sure he wanted at the club, so maybe in the future we will see him in the team. And Newcastle did play in the Champions League for the first time in like 20 years or so. They played yesterday. So my prediction is gonna be a 2-0 win for Newcastle. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to drop a like. Comment down below what your predictions are for these games. And please do subscribe as well. It would mean a lot. And hope you have a great day. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.